For 7 years, that dog never left his master's grave, not even for a single step. But tonight, in the middle of a blizzard, he howled long, mournful cries that tore through the darkness as if warning of a tragedy about to unfold. And just a few hours later, the entire town of Little Creek would witness a secret no one ever dared to believe. In the snowy hills of Montana sat the small town of Little Creek, the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and secrets rarely lasted long. Old Henry Miller had once been the town's most respected carpenter. Widowed and childless, he lived alone in a timber cabin at the edge of the pine forest. But he was never truly alone, because he had Lucky, a shaggy golden dog with bright amber eyes. Henry had built half the town's homes, repaired countless broken doors and fences, and refused payment from those who couldn't afford it. To the people of Little Creek, he was a quiet hero. But 7 years ago, on the first night of winter snow, Henry collapsed from a heart attack. Lucky stayed by his side until the paramedics arrived, but it was too late. Since that night, Lucky refused to leave Henry's grave, through snow, rain, and howling winds. Yet no one knew that all these years, Lucky had seen things no human eyes ever witnessed. 1 week ago, as another brutal Montana blizzard pounded Little Creek, Lucky began howling into the night, louder than ever before. Jacob, the old cemetery groundskeeper, rushed outside and froze in place. Under the swirling snow, he saw a tall man in a black coat crouching beside Henry's grave, digging frantically into the frozen soil with a spade. When Jacob shouted, the stranger bolted. Leaving behind a shallow hole and scattered around it were several tarnished gold coins. Why would someone dig up an old carpenter's grave in the dead of night? And why was Lucky barking, as if he'd known the truth all along? Then, during the worst blizzard in 20 years, Lucky disappeared. People feared the dog had frozen to death somewhere in the storm. The entire town began searching, calling his name across snow-blanketed streets. But just as dawn broke, Lucky reappeared. He raced down Main Street, a battered wooden box clutched in his jaws. He dropped it at the doorstep of the Little Creek police station and barked so fiercely the officers came running. Inside the box lay a leather-bound journal, brittle with age, and a pouch of ancient gold nuggets. How did Lucky find this box? And what secrets lay hidden in that fragile book? The journal revealed a story no one expected. Decades ago, Henry Miller had worked alongside other carpenters building a mansion for a wealthy businessman on the outskirts of Little Creek. During construction, the crew stumbled upon a stash of illegal gold hidden beneath the house's floorboards. Fearing trouble with the law, Henry took part of the gold and hid it inside his own future coffin. He believed it was safer buried with him than left for greedy men to steal. Only Lucky, lying by the grave night after night, overheard men sneaking through the cemetery, whispering about the gold under Henry's bones. Could it be that Lucky knew everything for years and waited for the right moment to protect his master one last time? The police quickly set a trap. Late that night, the same man in the black coat, Arthur Black, returned to dig again. Just as his spade hit Henry's coffin, Lucky lunged from the shadows, barking like thunder. Arthur pulled a knife, but floodlights blazed on, and officers swarmed in. Arthur screamed accusations that Henry had betrayed him and kept all the gold. But Sheriff Daniels shook his head solemnly. Henry paid with his life for trying to keep that gold out of dirty hands. The only one who stayed loyal was Lucky. And that night, news spread across Little Creek. The old dog had saved his master's honor and stopped a crime that had been brewing for decades. Since that day, people have come to this cemetery not just to visit Henry's grave, but to see Lucky, now frail, with silver fur and eyes still glowing with fierce devotion. The town erected a small statue beside Henry's headstone, carved in the shape of Lucky, with an inscription that reads, "True loyalty stays behind, even after death tries to separate it." And every evening, Lucky wanders between the snow-dusted gravestones, as though guarding secrets only he understands. Townsfolk say that sometimes, beneath Montana's cold night sky, you can still hear Lucky's soft howls echoing like a vow that love and loyalty never die. Yet if you believe Lucky's story is the most incredible, then you haven't heard about the day an elephant broke free to find a dog and what happened next left the entire world in tears. Don't miss the video right beside this one to discover why people everywhere wept for a small dog who changed everything.